record. And a little bit of recognition. I wanted to say good job to Marion. She added a coach and is at Success Club 2 right now. I also wanted to say good job to Nikki, who's at Success Club 4 right now. I think we should also add a coach. And Rhiannon is at Success Club 2. I am at Success Club 4. And I think that's it. Yep, I just wanted to double check that. Okay, so I just got back from the New Leaders Conference, which I highly recommend earning your way into going. It really was an amazing, amazing conference. If you are in the Success Club with the group with Carl, the 1x3x5, he actually just posted this video in there. So, but I also wanted to share this with you just because I think it was really good training. Now, to get in the Success Club group, the 1x3x5, all you have to do is purchase a Summit ticket. So let's say that even if you didn't want to go to Summit or you weren't sure you were going to go to Summit, which by the way, it's still $100 off through this month for your ticket. That's like I think it's $175, $149, whatever it is. You are essentially paying for training from February to June, even if you're not planning on going to Summit. So he had Brendan Bashar did a video on our very first day. I'm really excited about this group. I think it's going to have some really good content. So I think it's worth getting the Summit ticket for, because then you get invited in. Graham, no more. So it's something to consider. And if you're on the fence about going to Summit, then I definitely recommend that you get your ticket now, because this is going to be the cheapest. I can't see them extending this another month. Maybe they will, but I can't see them doing it. So anyway, Carl specifically talked to us. So they did.
Here, this is still the non-refundable. Is that right?
I don't know. You'd have to look at it.
I think that's what the special was before.
Yeah, it probably is. They're probably not going to do any more refunds, because the thing about this too is if people are buying this ticket just to get into the training, like they're not going to want you to be in the training, participate, and then get refunded. Right. So it probably is, but you'd have to look for sure. But I think the refundable ticket was only available through the end of December to purchase. Okay, so what he talked about was they did a bunch of research last year. So 2017 was kind of a funky year for Beachbody. Profits actually went down last year, and a lot of coaches saw struggles in their business. The reason being is we completely switched to the on-demand and to one workout library. And there were a couple of things that happened with that. One, people weren't buying a new workout program every time it came out because they already have their Beachbody On Demand membership. But two, as coaches, we weren't doing a very good job retaining and keeping people on Shakeology or the Performance Line. Like you weren't keeping customers as a continuous customer every single month. Whether that is because you weren't following up with customers or you just weren't encouraging that. Maybe you weren't showing the value. I mean, there could be a variety of things, but it really does come down to us and what we were continuing with our customers. And a lot of coaches saw their income decline, but there was a group of coaches that saw their income continue to increase. And really, that's possible for every single coach. So these coaches did a variety of things, and they did some best practice researchers, and they figured out what they were. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. So they, first and foremost, committed 100% to the 4 vital behaviors. That's being a product of the product, that's doing personal development, that's inviting, and that's recognition. And if you're not doing those things, then you really need to look at your daily activities and see why not. And you need to start committing before you're doing anything else. You need to start committing to doing those things. So being a product of the product is easy. You're pushing play on your workout, you're following a nutrition program, you're drinking your Shakeology every single day, you're using your Performance Line, you're using both, whatever that may be. But you're being a product of the product. And your mental and physical health and just how you're feeling on the inside, that's going to come first and foremost. So if you're not doing those things, you need to be, because you're not going to have the energy to get going in the day if you haven't fueled your body correctly. You're not going to have the energy to get going if you haven't been working out and doing those kinds of things. So this isn't just you need to be using a Beachbody program and your life is going to be amazing. There's how much research that we know of that people are genuinely better people physically, mentally, emotionally, because they are working out, right? It's like, we already know that. And if you're not fueling your body well, you're not thinking well, you're not functioning well. So that's where drinking your Shakeology every single day and feeding yourself good nutrition is going to come into play. Do I expect you to be perfect? No, you're never going to be perfect. Do I expect that you have to push play on a Beachbody program every single day? No, like, you can be into other things, but we already know that pharmaceuticals are prescribed all the time, yet exercise is the most underutilized drug that we could possibly give people. So we already know that. So being a product of the product isn't just essential for your business, it's essential for your life. And then same with personal development. Your mental game has to be strong. You have to be improving yourself in one way or another. That's a big part of why I started the Leaders Book Club. And no, you don't have to be a part of that. You don't have to read the same book we're reading. But I guarantee you, if you're having trouble doing it, then you need to commit to just being checked in and doing your personal development every single morning. Before you watch TV, before you do this, before you do that, like, get your personal development in. You can do 10 minutes a day. You could listen to personal development while you're taking a shower, if that's what it takes for you to get it in, but you need to do it. And then, of course, inviting involves more than just inviting. I think this is eventually going to get changed, because Carl talked a lot about this, but it's really more about you are attracting people. So you're being yourself on social media, you're sharing your story, you're sharing your journey, you're connecting with people. So you're messaging those people that are on your page, that are liking your posts, that are coming up in your newsfeed. You're connecting and being a genuine person and either saying, hey, I love the support you show me on my posts, or hey, I saw you had a new puppy today, whatever it is. Or like, I saw somebody today asking about yoga, low impact exercises. And truthfully, I try to not scroll my feed. I usually look at the top posts that's in there. I try to hit like, but I try to really work from my list so that I'm not seeing the news feed as much. But I saw that, so I just messaged that person. I just reached out and said, hey, I have some options if you're looking. I have a really great yoga studio. That was it. I was connecting, and then you invite from there. Because once you're connecting with people, they're seeing your posts, they're checking out your profile, they are watching your page more, and as you provide those opportunities to for them to be involved with you, then they're going to get that invitation. And then, of course, recognition. And I admittedly say that I struggle with this. I try to be more aware of recognition. I try to do our Success Club recognition. I try to recognize, new coaches when they come in. I'm trying to be better about recognizing my challengers in the group and sharing their stories too. So that's a part of that. So that's wherever you're weak, you need to make a point to increase that. So that was the first thing, is that they did the 4 vital behaviors and they really expanded on the inviting. Let's see, they worked an average of 2 to 3 hours of focused business hours per day. So that is not a lot, truthfully, if you think about that. You could fit that in. You could fit that in pockets of time. You could be doing an hour in the morning. You could do half an hour at lunch. You could do your 15-minute breaks at work if you get those. You could do an hour at night of focused work though. So that means you're not scrolling Facebook. You're genuinely going through your 4 vital behaviors. You're doing the power of 3. You're following up with people. You're creating content for your posts. You're creating events, creating groups, creating, free group ideas. You're reaching out to people. It's focused time. You're connecting base with your dream team. You're doing all those things, but focused for 2 to 3 hours per day. And these people are massively increasing their business and their income. They were also more active with posting. So they averaged 36 posts a week. And that's 5 posts a day, but that can be broken up between Instagram, Facebook, your like page, or your personal page. But they did actively get out there and have 3 to 5 posts a day. They also posted over 3 times a day on Instagram stories. So that was something that I thought was interesting, because I was just complaining that I don't really have time for Instagram stories. I feel like in my busy day, I just can't get that done. But I seem to think that if I don't post something right at the moment that it's happening, that it doesn't count. And that's not true. Your Instagram stories are up for 24 hours, so you might as well do that. They added over 10 new followers or friends per day. That's what I shoot for, is to add 10 at a minimum. But my basic, no matter what, is 3, the power of 3. They also started over 5 new active conversations per day. So that was reaching out to new followers. They were looking up, hashtags on Instagram for people that they enjoyed, and they were sending them a direct message, doing different things like that. This was the big one that I thought, the big key, is they would invite over 12 new people to learn about coaching a week. So that's like 2 people a day, taking a day off. And I know that can seem really, really scary. I used to have that goal, and then I kind of strayed away from it. And so I know I need to go back to that goal, because if it makes you uncomfortable, it means you need to grow. And I already have it set up in my schedule to do a sneak peek every single month. And so I'm just going to work towards that. And I might actually even do it 2 times a month for that. I'm inviting people to the opportunity all the time. Or, I have Meg's video that I shared with you guys on our Team Cup. I have that video that I could send them. So that's going to be my main focus. I'm going to tell you also that for these coaches, Instagram stories did double the coach enrollments and 30% more customers than their other social media avenues. So that was really interesting. Let's see. They would launch at least 1 challenge group per month. And they created demand by limiting the amount of people who can join. So I just did something kind of like this. I shared my phase 1 photos, and I said, I'm only going to open a group for 10 people to start 80-day obsession with me again, which I didn't call 80-day obsession. I just said phase 1. And I really am going to do that. I'm going to be starting a group. I'm only going to allow a max of 10 people in there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to create that demand that way. Let's see. They tracked their numbers, and they figured out how to grow it daily. So that's tracking how many people like your like page, how many people are following you on Instagram, how many friends you have. And if one of those numbers is lacking or going down, then you need to look at what you're posting, you need to look at your content, and you need to figure out how to increase it. They focused their content around 4 to 5 major themes so that there was variety, but they stayed on their brand. So I was really thinking about that for me. And so that would be like fitness for me, family, cooking at home, home cooked meals, finance, and then sports, that sports life that we revolve around. So that's what I need to start really honing down and focusing on and posting about daily. And then people have, most posts have a subtle call to action, so people are aware that they're actively looking to help them. So I have been trying to incorporate that more. I'm not always consistent about it, but it's things like sharing your nutrition, and then like, oh, do you struggle with what to cook for dinner? Send me a message. Maybe I can help you out. Or if you're looking for how to get started on a yoga program, you know who to call, like things like that. Let's see. They also did, as people engage, they message them to connect further offline to eventually invite. I'm not 100% sure what that meant. I know Carl often encourages you getting on the phone with someone. So it could mean that these people really were, moving to email, moving to text, moving to phone calls. But I think it also just meant like getting it off a post. So you're not engaging back and forth with someone on a post. You're messaging them or talking to them that way. They rarely post specific corporate materials, but talk about what they're using and then use corporate materials in their messages. And so that's things like you're like showing what you're doing in your workout program, or you're showing your results, or you're showing your sweaty selfie. And then when someone's messaging you, or they're saying like, hey, what are you doing? And you say, oh, I'll shoot you a message about it. You can talk about a program. And then if you look in your Coach Online office under Grow My Business, and then you look at shareable media, there is stuff in there for every single workout option, nutrition plan, anything that you can do with Beachbody. There's like pictures you can share. There's videos that you can share on every single thing. And I really like sharing videos. I used to do that all the time and I kind of moved away from it. I did it again today because I was trying to get back to that. So just sharing so that people can actually see like what you're doing and what you're talking about. And it's professional. Like those shareable media things from Beachbody are professional. Like it shows exactly what comes in a challenge pack or what you would get in a challenge group, what that looks like, different things like that. So check some of that stuff out, especially when you're not sure what to say. When you're struggling and you can't figure out how to word a message, just say, hey, let me send you a quick video exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see. So here were some of the stats too. So on average, the coach not doing these things, on average, they enrolled less than half a coach per month. So that probably means like one coach every 2 to 3 months. These coaches that were moving their business forward and doing all these things I talk about, averaged 1.6 coaches per month. The average coach had 1.6 customers they were helping per month. So these coaches moving their business forward were helping 3.4 customers. The coach not doing these activities earned 3.2 Success Club points per month, whereas the coach doing these activities was averaging 8.2 Success Club points per month. They were averaging 5 times more new personally sponsored emeralds in a month. So they were getting 1.5 new emeralds versus the average coach was just getting 0.3 new personally sponsored emeralds. They were averaging 6 times more diamonds. So it was like a 0.2. I don't even know that stat. I missed that one. Never mind. But it was 6 times more diamonds. I don't know what the actual number was. They were averaging 2 times more second level emeralds. So that means their personally sponsored coaches, their coaches were also rank advancing to emerald. And then same with their second level diamonds. They were averaging 2 times more second level diamonds. So what's important about those stats is obviously the bigger your team is growing and building, your income is going to increase through volume. Obviously, the more customers you are helping, not only are you helping change lives, but that's also going to increase your volume. And think about anytime you hit Success Club 5, you and you're an active emerald, you are going to get customers assigned to you, customers for free. So I will tell you right now, it's February 12th. I have already been given 4 free customers this month from Beachbody. And I get that volume, and sometimes you can convert them over to other things. I've had coaches come off those leads. I've had customers get a new challenge pack and come off those leads. So I'm not getting Success Club points from them initially, but I'm getting the commission and the volume after their first order. If you hit Success Club 10, you also get Shakeology customers, and that averages out to a lot. So when I hit Success Club 10, I'm getting anywhere from 10 to 20 new customers a month. Like, you don't want to give that money up to somebody else. You don't want to just, because the more coaches that don't hit Success Club 10, the more of us that do hit Success Club 10 get to like pull out of those, because all those customers get somebody. So don't just leave that money out on the table. The other thing too that I wanted to talk about with the average 2 to 3 hours of focused business time per day, they also planned out their weekly and their monthly activities. So those coaches knew what they were going to do in a month. They knew when their next challenge group was going to start. They knew if they were offering a free group. They knew if they were offering Clean Week. They knew when they were going to do a coach sneak peek or share their coaching story. They knew when they were starting a new training for their new coaches. They knew the national wake-up call that they needed to get on. They knew their team call. They knew if there was other opportunities for them to be a part of other trainings. And they did that the same with their weekly activities. So they planned out their business hours for the week. They knew exactly when they were going to work and where. Because I would tell you guys, if you just leave your week for chance, like, I'm just going to get in 2 hours somewhere today, guess what happens? You go to bed at 10 o'clock and you got in 15 minutes of work. And that probably involved checking into your challenge group and scrolling on Facebook. Because that's just what happens. If you leave it out there, it's the same if you say, well, I'm just going to wing it, and when I feel like it today, I'm going to cook dinner and give my kid a bath. What happens? You grab fast food and your kid does not get a bath, because I don't ever plan baths and my kids never get them. Like, that's just the way life works. If you wing it, it doesn't happen. But if you know when you have to show up to work, you make it during your scheduled hours, right? Like if you know you have to go to the grocery store after work, you make it to get dinner done. If you know when you're going to work your business, you get your butt up on time, or you get focused and you do it. So you just have to plan it. You have to make the commitment to yourself. No different than working your fitness program or your nutrition. If you don't commit to yourself that you're going to work your business and you just wing it, like it's not going to happen. And you can work it however much you want. I'm not saying you have to work 2 to 3 hours. I'm telling you my personal goal is 4 hours per day, because I know that activity level is what is going to get me to elite. 2 hours a day though, you could do some serious damage. You can be hitting Success Club every single month. You could be adding coaches to your team every single month. And that's just 2 hours a day. And I would expect you to take a day off. I would expect you to have a day where maybe you're just posting in your groups and getting your workout and your personal development done, and you're calling it a day. Answering vital messages, that's 30 minutes. And if you need a mental health break day on a Sunday, then take it. But if you are working the other days of the week for 2 to 3 hours, you're going to seriously see your consistency build, your momentum build, and you're going to get things done in your business. So that's just what you should do, in my opinion, if you want to make this business something that's producing for you. So let me just double check. Oh, they were also conscious of what their target market needed to hear, and they would talk to that target market in their posts. And so your target market goes back to your avatar, it goes back to your mission, it goes back to your why. Who are you wanting to help? Or who were you before Beachbody? Who is that person, that customer that is ideal for you to work with, is ideal to eventually be on your team? And that's who you need to talk to every single time in your post. And Carl made a great point about this. And he said, you can't talk to everybody, because that's what I do. I'm the CEO of this company. No, I'm on a phone call. Ask Tyler, please. No, I'm on a call. Ask Tyler. So go ask Tyler. Okay, so go ask Tyler to change it for you. Back down the cartoon. But so that's what you need to do, because Carl is talking to everybody in the world about what Beachbody has to offer. You need to talk to those people that are going to connect to you about what you have to offer. And that's who you need to talk to in your post. So you need to talk to that person that was overweight, maybe like you were, or that person that had no energy like you did, or that person that was tired of feeling uncomfortable in their skin like you were, or that person that was financially strapped and needed a second income like you did, or just that person that couldn't afford fitness products unless they were for free like you did. Whatever your story is, that's who you need to talk to. And then I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, so that was the research they did, and that is what they found. And I thought that was really interesting research. I thought it was very applicable things that you can do in your business every single day. And I thought it was super attainable, like things that you could definitely accomplish. It's not out of the realm. It's not like he's saying you need to work 8 hours a day like this is a full-time business to get major results. These really were people that their income increased throughout the year. These are people that rank advanced. These are people that became elite. Like these are all people who still had other things going on in their job or in their life. And maybe they eventually did retire from their full-time job to become a coach. I don't know how many of that happened to, but that's not what he was saying, that you already had to be working this as a full-time business for this to work. So any questions on any of that? I'm assuming you're moving to ask a question. Is that right? Okay.
I was moving because I have children who are for me. I don't really have a question about the information, but my struggle, and I would assume as everybody's, is getting up at before butt crack of dawn to do our workouts getting everything ready for the day. There's not a lot of time. I mean, I get my workout on, I get my, everything ready, got that all done. I come home at 8, I'm exhausted generally by now, like get them to bed so I can go to bed. But by the time I get everybody to bed, it's like I fall asleep, messaging people and just trying to get 5 messages out or 3 messages out or responding to people and making sure I'm not saying something that's like, word vomit or ridiculous. That's my struggle because, especially since she's pushing self-care and making sure you're getting enough sleep. Well, if I'm getting up at 4 a.m., then I need to be in bed by like 9 or 9:30 at the latest.
Yeah.
So and I don't have a lot of time. I mean, occasionally I have days where I can do some stuff at work. It's a few quick messages here and there.
Yeah.
I don't get breaks of any sort. I mean, they're not scheduled. Like I can't commit to saying, okay, on this 15-minute break, I'll do this because maybe not eat your lunch at your desk and do your job.
Right. So your job is a little bit different because of the hours that you have to work, but you're also fortunate and then that you don't have to do that 5 to 7 days a week.
Right.
So you're going to have to structure your day that on work days, you're just doing the bare minimum, whatever that may be, checking into your challenge group, which I really suggest to you that you take one of your days and you schedule all your challenge group posts for the morning so that that's taken care of. I actually do that myself on Sundays. Every single group that I'm running, I go through on Sunday and I schedule the post for the next Monday to Sunday so that I don't have to worry about that. That takes off 10 minutes in the morning. So that's where I suggest you start there, is doing that very one thing to get that off your plate. And then just do the basics during those work days. And I really want to tell you too, to encourage you to use voice memo. So instead of having to take the time to type everything out, if you see some vital messages in there, quickly voice memo those people back. You can do that while you're walking around, if you do get a break, or before you go to bed, if you see 3 messages that you just need to quickly voice memo people back, because people also like to hear your voice. So sometimes that is even a better way to close the deal. But just do what you can get done on those days that you have to work. But then you have to say, okay, so I have Wednesday off and I'm going to dedicate 2 to 3 hours to my business on Wednesday. 1 hour is going to be solely on inviting. And I'm going to look at following up with all those people that have been commenting on my posts. And I'm going to invite 20 people on one day. So your numbers have to be bigger on the 1 or 2 days that you have instead of being spread out over all those days. Then the next hour, you are solely working on creating content for activities for whatever you're doing for the next week or 2 weeks. Then your third hour, maybe you are following up, or you're adding friends, or you are doing your forming messages. And again, like your forming messages can be voice memos too, where you're just saying, hey, I saw your new puppy. I just wanted to say hi. How are things going? Like you can quickly get through people like that, or you can copy and paste if you're doing the same general message, like, hey, how are you? Have any fun plans for Valentine's Day? And I do recommend going on someone's profile page and just quickly looking at their last few posts so that you guys, stop the dog, so that you can say, hey, it looks like Shelly did really great at her dance recital, so that you're still making it personal. Just a sec. So that you are making it personal and you're still relating to those people. But you can get a lot done if you say, like, I'm going to work 8 to 11 on Wednesday, or whatever it may be, whatever your day might be. But yeah, you do need to take care of yourself. And no, if you are tired at the end of the day, I'm not saying you then have to push yourself and stay up for an extra hour. But I do want to say, though, too, that if you have big goals, sometimes it does involve staying up a little bit later, 30 minutes on days that you don't want to. Or maybe it involves, I get sucked into watching TV at night because that's the one time I get to do it and I feel like I deserve it. But if I have a big goal, I need to get my power of 3 done first, or I need to check off my top 3 things on my priority list first. And that's something else that you have to do, is really plan things out and decide, what am I working when am I working? What am I going to get done during those days? Like, what are the most essential things that I need to do and create off that list? So, no, working 2 to 3 hours a day, every single day may not work for you, but then you need to make sure that you're doing the massive action those other days that you can. Okay, time. Thank you. So that's what I say to that. And if that doesn't work for you, then I don't know. I would say then you have to step back what your expectations are or what your goals are. You have to be able to work at what you can do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But no, I don't expect you to kill yourself all the time. But if you then have a few days that you can go really hard and push really hard, do it. I also used to get up at 4 or 5 on a Saturday and work like a solid 3 hours on a Saturday. And then I was done for the day because we either had other things going on or we had a family day, or I just knew that I couldn't necessarily be beach body every single weekend, every single other day, because I was doing other things during the week. So sometimes that meant that I didn't get to sleep in on a Saturday, which really kind of sucked for a long time. But sometimes that's what you have to do. And I know when my business was moving a lot more forward and I was doing a lot of other things, because this past year really stalled out for me for a variety of reasons. I was definitely one of those coaches that my income was not going up. It was either staying the same or it decreased a little bit. But I also stopped working hard. I allowed a lot of other time suckers to take place that shouldn't have, but that maybe I thought, well, like, I deserve this, or I want to do this. And I'm not going to lie, like, some days this business is really, really hard and you have to work really, really hard and it sucks. And other days it's like cake. 17 people respond to you, or 3 people reach out to you and say, you're so inspiring. Tell me how I can be like you. You're like, oh, I can't every day be like this. And then you'll go through a tough month. And, check in with yourself when those things happen. If you need a mental health day, I don't know if you got to watch the National Wake Up Call today. You probably didn't because you were working. But, oh no, this was Meg's team call. This girl that did Meg's team call, she straight up said, if you're having a bad day, or you think that you feeling like you need to quit the business that day because you've been getting a bunch of crappy messages, take the rest of the day off and walk away from your computer and come back tomorrow. So if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. But some days you have to push through when you don't want to, and it sucks. And some days it's easy, unfortunately. But I also feel like that's every other job that you have. Some days it rocks, and some days you're like, oh my God, I'm quitting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anything else you're struggling with or have a question about?
No, that's the biggest one.
Okay. Yeah, I would just really take some time and look at your schedule and see where you could fit the big work in. Don't feel like you have to do the big work every single day. Just do it when you can. And don't feel guilty about it. Like, I sometimes feel really guilty when I don't do much over a weekend because we've been traveling, and I think, oh, I have to, especially right now during wrestling season. And I just have to let that go, because my priority is always going to be my family. It's always going to be them. And I feel like if I work hard those other days that I have the opportunity to do so, then that's okay. I've done my job. But I can't always just check out if I have goals that I want to reach. And I really do, like, be careful about Facebook scrolling, be careful about Instagram scrolling, be careful about those things that suck your life away with social media, because it is so easy. I got myself today when I was trying to get some stuff done. Somebody posted one of those stupid vague, like, blah, like, you're horrible, one of those stupid drama posts. And I was like, oh my God, I need to go creep her page and see what happened. Did she post something earlier? I was like 3 minutes into doing that, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is not my time. Like, I don't even care about this person. I need to unfollow them. And it's just so easy. It's like a train wreck that you can't look away from. So just
being caught up in the group, in the test group is like,
yeah.
I can't even, I just like search for Autumn and I'm like, what is she saying? Okay.
Yep.
Or if it's one of our people that we know that's kind of like posting something, I might read it. But otherwise it's like there's 40,000 people in here. You could spend all day.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, if you are commenting on every single thing that is going on in the test group, then you have way too much free time in your life and you should be working your business. So that's all there is to it. I agree. I check in there. All I look for is the pinned post. So I look for Autumn's pinned video for whatever. If I've already seen it, I exit back out of that group. Like, don't get sucked into that group. Even if it's one of our people, if you're not done with your stuff yet, don't go like their post. Don't go comment on it. They can just suffer in silence there. So until you have time to get to it. My dang cat. But yeah, it is. It's so easy to get caught up in that stuff. And if you also find it super distracting, which I'm not saying with the coach test group that you want to do, because I know Autumn shares really good information, but turn off the notifications for it. And or if it was another group that you see yourself getting caught up in all the time that's not good for you, remove yourself from it. It just feel better.
I don't really think I get caught up in some groups. I mean, if I check the primary one and leave it, whatever, but I do feel like sometimes I have too many things in a group. Like it's this call, it's Meg's group, it's this page. It's like, where am I supposed to stop checking in and actually do something? You know, I don't know. Like sometimes you're trying to participate in too many things at once. And so the quality goes down because you're in so many.
Yeah. And so I kind of battled with that this past year too. So I made a commitment to myself that my team came first. So the only thing that I really bank on every single week doing is the team call. I get to Ariel's team call if I have the time to do it. Same with Meg's team call. And Meg is even like on my 3rd priority list. Janelle's on my 4th priority list. But I do like just generally jot a date down. So if I know I've missed a call, I jot a date down, or I just know like I need to go check Janelle's old trainings for if I have time. Mm-hmm. The National Wake Up Call is the only other one that I really try to listen to, because I can just play that, especially now that it's on Facebook. I can just play it while I'm doing something else. But like I say, concentrate on your personal business first, should be 80% of your time. 20% of your time should be other things. So if you have a team, then that would be your other 20% of your time. If you don't have a team, you need to be concentrating on your business and then specifically looking at trainings or personal development that helps you in your areas that are weak or that you want to improve. So if you were like, okay, I need to get on this Instagram story thing, then I would say that you're devoting an hour of training a week to looking at Instagram stories and improving that. Or if it was recruiting, or if it was how to craft better invitation posts, or, you know, whatever that may be. Just spend an hour per week on that though. Not more than that.
Are you part of any, or do you recommend any of the like social team builder, or I don't know, what's the new My Connection thing that they have coming out?
Yeah, so I do have social team builder because I originally got that for ads and like page, and I do use that for that. That takes a lot of time if you want to dedicate yourself to that. As far as the CSM, the customer service management thing, I use Teamzy for that because that's just what works for me. And I've already invested into Teamzy. I already know what it does. So I'm not going to switch over to Social Team Builder. But I do know that one of the people on our team, Ariel's fellow coach, so they're both Meg's personally sponsored coaches, she uses a Social Team Builder customer management tool now, and she really likes it. I don't know. I went for over 2 years in this business just using a notebook or spreadsheets. Like, it's whatever system you can find that works for you, use it. You don't have to pay money for something. It's more for the convenience factor. I knew I was missing a whole lot of follow-ups, is why I went to Teamzy. I still know that I'm missing a whole lot of follow-ups because I haven't refined exactly how to get those people down, but it's getting better. I know that with Teamzy. So if you
even hear it,
get it. I know, you can even hear it. You can't hear it. Now you can hear it. Isn't that amazing? But so yeah, that's what I
Well, I tried the free trial of Teamzy, and I think I got like another one because it's been however long.
Okay.
And it was okay, but it kept bringing up people. Like it went through my friends list in alphabetical order, and I was like, I don't know. I felt like I didn't necessarily like that part of it. I don't know why. Just because it's the alphabetical order, it's like I wanted to start with closer friends and work out maybe it didn't matter. I should have just done it that way. So I was trying to watch some of the videos from my Connection Builder, but I haven't done the free trial to see the app. But I'm definitely one that I think if I had that and they were like, here's who you're going to talk to, it would be better in some respects.
Yeah, and I know with TeamZ, if you went through and ranked everybody, then it would pull up your higher rankings first. But I will say, just going through alphabetically, it helps me a lot connect with people that I haven't talked to in a while. And if there's somebody, of course, like that girl that I saw today asking about yoga, I just search her in and I'm going to pull her up and put that invite in, in a follow-up later. So you can do it that way. And I don't know about Social Team Builder. I haven't even looked at anything yet. So I can't really say like, oh, that one would be better. I know that Leanne says she likes it better than TeamZ. So I think it's just finding whatever system works for you, truthfully. But yeah, and it is an investment. You have to decide you're going to invest in it, unfortunately. But so yeah. So I don't know. I get your struggles. I get where you feel being pulled in multiple directions. And just do what you can. Like there are nights, Tuesdays and Thursdays are very hard days for me to get anything done because of work, because I sit at wrestling practice for 2 hours. So, don't stress it on those days. Make it up on other days if you can. Just get it done when you can. Because as long as you are consistent that every single week you are sending out so many invites or you are connecting with people, that's still going to build. The momentum is still going to build. But anything else? All right, I think we'll end it. Let me stop.